Why was England in turmoil before Arthur became king? Why was England in turmoil before Arthur became king? Okay, number 2. Does anyone need more time on number 1? Yes. Why was England in turmoil before Arthur became king? Okay, number 2. Who does Guinevere hope will ask her to marry her? Who is Guinevere hoping to marry? Okay, number 3. What does Guinevere's father give her as a marriage dowry for King Arthur? What does Guinevere's father give her as a marriage dowry for King Arthur? Father gives her something and she takes it back to Camelot. What is it that her father gave her to give to King Arthur? Okay, number 4 is a yes or no question. All you have to do is write down yes or no for your answer. The question is, at the time of Arthur's wedding, were there enough knights to fill the round table? At the time of Arthur's wedding, were there enough knights to fill the round table? And when you finish with your quizzes, please place your pencils down. All pencils are down. I'll collect the quizzes. Oh, all right. Number 1 was, why was England in turmoil before Arthur became king? Don't pass the board yet. Okay. Everyone finished? Does anyone need me to repeat a question? Yes, Lee? Number 2 was, who is Guinevere secretly hoping will ask her to marry her? So who is Guinevere secretly hoping will ask for her hand in marriage? Yes, Stephanie? What does Guinevere's father give her to take back to Arthur as a marriage dowry? We're all done? Stephanie, would you please pass our quizzes forward, please? What's that? We've been talking a little bit about heroes and what sort of criteria it takes to make a hero. What does it take to make a hero? Remember we talked at first about, we made a list at first of some heroes. And then we asked about what do these people have in common. Then we talked a little bit about what qualities make a hero. We talked about bravery and about strength, those sorts of things. Today what I'd like to talk about is choices, types of choices heroes have to make. So what I'd like us to do is take out your journals right now. And we're going to write a little bit about the sorts of choices heroes have to make. Pardon me? You're drawing? Speak to me at the end of class. make a lot of hard choices in order to be king. What I'd like you to do now is look through your story and see if you can find 3 choices Arthur had to make that were difficult. And write those in your journal and write a little bit about why they were difficult choices. We'll do that for the next 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll share them as a class. What's it?
It does not focus.
It looks all right to me.
Good.
Yes, you did.
David, can you see that one? Okay, let's take a few minutes to talk about, as a class, the kinds of choices Arthur had to make. David, did you have a question? Mr. Gretchen?
No, I'll still give him.
You gonna give one? Okay, go ahead.
He had to choose his knights of the round table.
Yes, that's good. He had to choose his knights. Okay.
I thought
Merlin chose some, and Arthur also chose others. Candy?
Whether they choose the sword or the scabbard.
Yes. That's, how do you spell it? Thank you. Elizabeth? Pardon me? Okay, choose his wife. Who did he choose? I put G-U-I-N for Guinevere. What did he know about Guinevere? What did Merlin tell him about that?
Because she went through his heart.
Right, Guinevere's going to break his heart. And what did he decide to do? Marry her anyway.
Didn't he have to make a decision whether he wanted to become responsible?
Yeah, he pulled the sword from the stone, and he decided to accept that responsibility. Responsibility of being king. Candy?
How to go about bringing peace to England.
Pardon me? How to bring peace to England? Good. Good. Chris, can you think of one? No? No? Amy? No? January? Anyone? No? Robert?
Totally wanted to go to King Leo, whatever.
Pardon me?
Never mind.
King Leodegrance? And he went to King Leodegrance, and what did he have, what was his decision? What was his choice? Yeah, well, when he went to King Leodegrance, isn't that where he met, is that where he met Guinevere? So you say he chose Lancelot to go, okay. Is that really a difficult choice?
Well, she started to like Lancelot, see.
Well, but did Arthur know that she liked Lancelot when he sent Lancelot?
Well, if he knew that he was handsome, he probably should have let him go.
Okay. David?
He had to choose whether or not to fight for his king.
Okay, good. Whether he should fight for his kingdom or not. Kristen? Stacy? Come on, Stacy.
The other kings, when he first became king,
They didn't go with-
hated him, and he chose to make peace.
Yes, he didn't just kill all the other kings, he made peace. Candy?
What decided to the lady of the light?
Yes. I'm sorry, he did what? He
What
took-
do you have to say to the lady of the light? You have to be polite to the lady of the sword.
Right, she said, what did she ask him? She said, if I give you this sword, what'd she say?
He had to bring her a gift when she asked for it.
Right, he agreed to her terms. These are all real, very good. What I'd like to talk about now is what if? What if Arthur had made different choices than these? What if, for instance, instead of choosing his knights, for instance, what did he use to choose his knights? How did he go about doing that? I mean, Famulus pointed out that he also had Merlin help him. Elizabeth?
But he might have made different choices than the people that told him, just changed it. He didn't like the choices.
You mean the people who told the story? It's very possible. It's a legend. And someone, I understand, somebody asked in another class yesterday whether or not Arthur was a real person. Well, we don't know. He may have been based on a real king. Ms. Moore said he's not? Well, in that case, he's not.
I don't know.
But suppose Arthur, I mean, what criteria? How did Arthur go about choosing his knights? You know? Did he just choose all of his buddies?
No.
No.
He chose David.
Right, that were noble and who were merciful. David?
Did he choose like skilled fighters and stuff like that?
Yes, he did. He also chose the sons of the kings that he had defeated. Okay? So what if Arthur had done something else? Instead of choosing these noble sons of kings he had defeated, what else might he have done? Kelly? Yeah, or just chosen cronies. Does anybody know what cronies means? Flunkies? You know what flunkies? You know what flunkies are? Stacy?
Oh, no, I was gonna answer that question, but if he had chose different nights, he could have chose nights that could time with him, which went to assassinate him.
Yeah? If he chose, does anybody know what a sycophant is? Okay.
A crazy one.
Well, cronies, flunkies, sycophants, they all mean somebody who basically kisses butt. All right? It's just, they would suck up to Arthur. They weren't really good knights. He may have just chosen people who would do whatever he said and would never challenge him on anything. Okay? He also has the choice of the sword or the scabbard. Which one did he choose? Do you remember?
Sword.
Oh, do you remember there was something special about the scabbard? Do you remember what that was?
He would never be hurt.
As long as you had it with you, you would never get hurt.
Yes, right. Would never bleed if you had the scabbard. So what if he had chosen, well, I like the scabbard, and had just kept that and not even had the sword? Because he says, hey, I have nothing to worry about. As long as I have this, nobody can hurt me. Okay?
Yeah, he wouldn't have become king, would he?
Could have had his
I'm
feet
sorry,
on
what?
Then he wouldn't have became king.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been king. Okay? So what if he chose, instead of, he wouldn't be king? I'm going to say chose scabbard. Now we have, he had to choose his wife Guinevere. What if, when he found out that Guinevere was going to break his heart, what other choice might he have made other than marrying her? Yeah, Andy?
If you had married somebody else, you would have been happier. Dated.
Well, he's also king, right? So he can marry anybody he wants. He could have a contest to find the most beautiful woman in the kingdom and marry her.
I think we'll be happy.
You might not be happy, yeah. Might not even like her.
Could you just marry all of them?
Not if he's a Christian.
That's somebody else. He could.
Okay. All right. We also have here that he took the responsibility of being king. What else might he have done?
Turn it down.
Turned it down. Said, I don't want to be king.
And they wouldn't have, nobody would pull the sword out of stone, so nobody would ever put it back in there.
They wouldn't have peace.
Right. And he also made peace in England. Instead of trying to make peace with his enemies, what might he have done?
He could have conquered them all.
Right.
And had even more enemies.
He may have more enemies. Okay? And then Robert said he chose Lancelot to go get his wife. Now, instead of sending his bravest, most handsome knight, what else might he have done?
Arm himself.
He could have sent a flunky.
Yeah, he could have sent a someone who wouldn't challenge him at all. Or he could have gone himself. We have here also that he fought for his kingdom. We talked a little bit about that, about how he brought peace to England. What else might he do? David?
Not fought and lost his king.
He could have lost.
Or just chicken out, not fight at all.
Yeah, we're not fight at all. We have here made peace with the other kings. We already talked about that. Instead, he could have just killed them. And the last is that he agreed to the terms with the Lady of the Lake. What else might he have done there? When she said,
Being rude.
pardon me? What shot did you?
He could have killed him.
Pardon me?
Walked out. He could have said, "Get him," and walked out.
He could have just said no.
Takes the sword and just walked out.
They could have killed him.
Or just, yeah, and going back on his word, he could have lied to her. Now, if you look at this list, on one side we have the choices that Arthur made, the choices that a hero makes. And these are that's a pretty difficult series of choices. To choose your knights, to choose your wife, to marry your wife out of love and not for when you could marry anybody you wanted. He decided to fight for his kingdom. He made peace with the knights rather than just wiping them out. On the other side, we have some pretty ordinary choices that someone who's not a hero might have made. He could have just chosen his flunkies, surrounded himself with people who would say, "You're a great guy, Arthur. Whatever you want to do is fine." Or he may have married somebody else. Or he could have, when it came up to be king, he may have just said, I don't want to be king. Let England take care of itself. I have my own worries. No, but he didn't do any of that stuff. Okay? So what I'd like you to do now is we're going to write a little bit. And I want you to find a partner somewhere in the room who you're going to write with. Choose one of the stories we've read so far. Choose one of the heroes from one of the stories we've read so far. And take a section from that story. And what you're going to do is you're going to find 3 choices that the hero had to make in that section. And then I want you to think of 3 alternative choices that the hero might have made. And after that, you and your partner are going to write a story together based on the alternative choices. So an example would be if you wanted to write about Arthur, you could say that if you chose these 3 choices here, that he surrounded himself with flunkies, that he wasn't even going to fight, he just had that scabbard and he knew he would be safe, and he decided to marry a woman other than Guinevere. Then you would write a story about Arthur as if all 3 of those things happened. Okay? Try to make your stories, you'll present them tomorrow in class, try and make your stories to be about 1 or 2 minutes in your presentation, so that'll be a page or so. Okay? So, famous. Can you tell me what we're going to be doing?
Yeah, we want to be a partner. And we want to find 3 things decisions they have to make, and then 3 alternative decisions, then write a story on the hero.
Right, on their alternative decisions. So you and your partner together will each in your journal have a list of 3 decisions and then 3 alternatives to those decisions. But only one of you has to have a complete copy of the story. Okay, are there any questions? Sean?
Okay, what if you pick the life of perfectly? It doesn't have any different parts.
Well, write up about enough of it so you'll be able to speak for 1 or 2 minutes. Okay? Okay, you may now find your partners, but please do not move the desks. Can I help you? Do you want to?
It's mine.
Excuse me? Well, we might as well stop because, I mean, we're just going to be doing the group thing for the rest of the time, right?